Undercover CEO observes black waitress feeding her disabled daughter. The next day, he changed her life. The crash of the plate-breaking silenced the entire Golden Star restaurant that Friday night. But it wasn't the noise that froze the scene. It was the scream that followed. "That's the third time this month, Olivia." "Out of my pocket," Walters shouted, pointing at the shards scattered on the floor. "And now look at this mess." Olivia Carter felt the blood rush to her face as she knelt down, quickly picking up the porcelain shards. At 28, her deaf hands that should have been holding a stethoscope, not restaurant plates, trembled slightly as he tried to ignore the stares of the customers around her. "Maybe you should hire someone who knows how to do the job properly," commented a customer loud enough for everyone to hear. "Those people never pay attention." Those people. Olivia took a deep breath, knowing exactly what those words carried. But she couldn't lose this job. Not with her mother's medication costing 3 times the rent. Not when her dream of medical school had turned into a pile of collection letters on the table. "I'm sorry, Mr. Walter. It won't happen again," she muttered, her professional demeanor masking her inner turmoil. 4 years ago, Olivia was among the best medical students at the university. "You have a gift with children," her advisor had said. "Bright future, full scholarship, residency offers." Everything fell apart the night her mother had her first attack of multiple sclerosis. The decision wasn't difficult. Family came first, always. Table 9, Olivia. "And try not to break anything else," Walter ordered, adjusting his manager's badge as if it were a crown. She hurried to the indicated table where a man in an impeccable suit was sitting with a girl in a wheelchair. The girl kept her head down, her blonde hair partially hiding her face. Her shoulders were tense, her hands clutched tightly to the arms of the chair. "Good evening. Welcome to the Golden Star. I'm Olivia, and I'll be seeing you today." She smiled, bending down slightly to get on the girl's level. "And who do I have the pleasure of serving tonight?" The man seemed surprised by her direct approach to the child. "I'm Andre, and this is my daughter Sophia." Olivia immediately noticed that no other waiters had approached this table. It was always the same story. Customers with disabilities were seen as too complicated or too time-consuming. The thought made her stomach turn. "It's nice to meet you. Can I get you something to drink while you decide?" Andre asked for water, and for Sophia a lemonade with a flexible straw. As Olivia walked away, she heard Walter whisper to Jessica, the new waitress, "Leave her with that table. Wheelchairers are a lot of work, and leave bad tips." When she returned with the drinks, Olivia noticed that Sophia seemed uncomfortable with the noise in their restaurant. Without drawing attention to herself, she strategically positioned herself to block out some of the noise and movement. "Here's your lemonade, Sophia," she said gently, placing the straw in an accessible position. "Orders noted." Olivia noticed Sophia's fingers tracing the image of macaroni and cheese on the children's menu. "It." Discreetly, she knelt beside the chair. "Between us," she whispered as if sharing a secret. "Oh, our chef makes the best macaroni and cheese in town. 3 types of cheese and a crunchy crust on top. What do you think?" And for the first time, Sophia looked up, her blue eyes meeting Olivia's with a mixture of surprise and curiosity. A small nod was her response. "Macaroni and cheese for you." Then Olivia confirmed, winking conspiratorially. Returning to the kitchen, she was intercepted by Walter. "What's taking so long with table 9? We have customers waiting." "Jessica's complaining that you've overloaded her. I'm looking after all my clients." "Walter, even the ones the others prefer to avoid," he replied calmly, his firm gaze making the manager flinch momentarily. When the plates arrived, Olivia immediately saw the problem. Sophia was struggling to hold her fork, her right hand visibly shaking. Frustration was beginning to show on her face as the noodles repeatedly slipped back onto the plate. "Olivia," Andra called softly, a plea for help in his eyes. Without hesitating, she pulled up a chair and sat down. Sophia, can I show you a technique I learned in medical school? The girl looked surprised. So did Andre. You were a doctor? Asked Sophia, her soft voice almost inaudible in the noisy restaurant. Pediatric medical student? Olivia smiled gently, showing a different way of holding the cutlery. Our bodies are like complex machines. Sometimes one part needs tweaking while the others work perfectly. Patiently, she guided Sophia's hand, stabilizing the movement. Your brain is working perfectly. It's just the communication with your hand that's facing some temporary obstacles. After a few attempts, Sophia managed to get the fork to her mouth on her own, a small smile of triumph lighting up her face. You did it. Olivia celebrated discreetly. And I bet you're good at other things too. I draw, Sophia offered, her voice gaining confidence, but only with my left hand now. Impressive, Olivia replied sincerely. A lot of people can't draw with either hand. That's when she heard it. A musical sound light as wind chimes, Sophia's laughter. The sound made several nearby customers smile involuntarily. Across the hall, Walter watched the scene with narrowed eyes, his displeasure evident in every line of his face. But Olivia didn't notice. She was too busy watching Sophia come to life in front of her. What neither of them knew was that Andre wasn't just another customer in an expensive suit. The man who watched Olivia's every move with growing interest was the owner of the entire Golden Star restaurant chain, and tomorrow, her life would change completely. If you're enjoying this story of overcoming injustice, be sure to subscribe to follow stories like this one. But what would Walter do when he found out that Olivia had wasted so much time with just one table? And who really was Andre, the mysterious man watching everything with calculating eyes? Olivia, my office now. Walter's voice cut through the air like a cold blade. The small office at the back of their restaurant smelled of stale coffee and cheap cologne. Walter threw himself into the chair, the faux leather groaning under his weight. Who do you think you are? Walter spat out the words, sitting with clients as if you were a guest-playing doctor while your other clients waited. I was helping a client with special needs, Olivia replied calmly. All my other clients were attended to properly. Quiet. Walter pounded on the table. I've had enough of your attitude, always questioning the tipping system, complaining about the hours. He opened a drawer and took out next week's schedule. You used to have 5 shifts, now you have 2. The floor seemed to disappear beneath Olivia's feet. Walter, please, you know my situation. I need these shifts for my mother's medication. Your mother's health is not Gold Star's problem. His smile was now cruel. Jessica needs more hours. She has a trip to pay for. Jessica lives with her parents, Olivia said softly. She's saving up for a cruise. So what? She doesn't keep questioning my decisions? Walter studied her with contempt. Besides, customers prefer to be served by someone who looks like her. The racial slur was obvious. Olivia remained impassive, knowing that reacting would mean losing her job completely. And there's more, Walter continued, satisfied. I'm reorganizing your tips for the night. You've wasted too much time with just one table. He pushed a thin envelope across the table. That should be enough for tomorrow's fuel. Olivia took the envelope, less than half of what she had earned, not enough for her mother's next dose of medication. In the parking lot, leaning against her old car, Olivia opened the envelope. $47 for a 10-hour shift, where she had earned more than $120 in tips. Her hands were shaking with frustration and impotence. A single tear trickled down, quickly wiped away. Hours later, in her small apartment, Olivia found her mother sleeping peacefully. On the side table, the meticulous chart of medication schedules. On the fridge, a note from Mrs. Rodriguez. Eleanor had a good day. She ate everything. I left some soup for you. The pile of bills grew under the magnet on the fridge. At the top, the final notice from the electricity company and the statement from the pharmacy, $780 after insurance. Money she no longer had. Exhausted, Olivia opened her laptop. A notification flashed up on the medical school portal. A message from Dr. Winters, her former advisor. Olivia, a prestigious research position has opened up in the pediatric neurology department. The deadline has passed, but I convinced the committee to review a late application from you. It includes full tuition waivers and a scholarship. Call me. The message was from 3 weeks ago. The deadline had passed the day before. She sent a desperate reply, but even if she got an extension, how would she return to college? Her mother needed full-time care. Olivia was still at the table when dawn began to light up the apartment, her mind spinning with impossible scenarios. The alarm on her phone reminded her of Eleanor's morning medicine. As she prepared the pills, a knock on the door startled her. A delivery girl was waiting with a heavy cream-colored envelope. The sender's address read, Bennett Enterprises, with an address in the city center. Inside was a sheet of letterhead and a business card. Andre Bennett, CEO, Bennett Restaurant Group. Below the logo, a handwritten note, "The Golden Star is one of mine." Olivia's knees went weak. Andre wasn't just any customer. He was the owner of the restaurant, Walter's boss. The letter said, Miss Carter, your kindness to my daughter Sophia yesterday was extraordinary. In our brief interaction, you demonstrated more compassion, intelligence, and professional skill than many with impressive titles. I would appreciate discussing a matter of mutual benefit. My car will arrive at your address at 9 a.m. to take you to me office, should you accept. Sophia asks that you consider carefully. She's questions about brain pathways that only a former medical student can answer. Respectfully, Andre Bennett. Olivia's hands were shaking. How had he found her address? What did he want? And most importantly, why did fate keep teasing her with impossible possibilities? From her bedroom, Eleanor called softly, needing help to start her day. As she helped her mother, Olivia thought about the choice before her. If she accepted Andre's invitation, what would he propose? Was it just curiosity about a waitress who helped his daughter? Or was there something deeper at stake? And why did Walter seem so determined to sabotage her? What was really going on behind the scenes at the Golden Star that she still didn't understand? At 9:00 sharp, a sleek black car pulled up in front of Olivia's building. With her heart racing and wearing her only professional interview outfit, she entered the luxurious vehicle. When the private elevator opened onto the 40th floor, Olivia found not executives in formal attire, but Sophia sitting in her wheelchair next to a breakfast table. "You came!" the girl exclaimed, her face lighting up. "Daddy said you might be too busy." Before Olivia could process the situation, Andre entered, his presence commanding immediate respect. "Sorry I'm late. An urgent matter at the Golden Star required my attention." Something in his tone caused Olivia to shiver. When they were alone, Andre got straight to the point. "I've owned Estrella Dorada for 6 months. It was part of a large requisition that didn't get my attention until the recent reports of falling revenue." He slid a folder across the table. "Yesterday was my first visit as a customer. What I witnessed was unacceptable. Not your service, which was exceptional, but the management." Olivia opened the folder and found financial records. Her blood ran cold. As she saw the discrepancies between reported tips and actual distributions. "Walter has been embezzling tips for 4 months, Andre continued, "selectively targeting you and other employees. After he left yesterday, I asked for an audit off the books." The office door opened violently. Walter walked in, his face contorted with rage. "You set me up," he shouted, pointing at Olivia. "You and your crippled accomplice." Andre stood up slowly, his expression dangerously calm. "Mr. Peterson, you're referring to my daughter and a valued employee. Choose your next words carefully." Walter paused, finally realizing the situation. "You don't understand how these places work. The tipping system is complex. Stealing is complex." Andre interrupted gently. "Falsifying time cards. Racial discrimination in scheduling." The color left Walter's face as Andre picked up a document. "As of this morning, you are no longer employed by any Bennett company. Security will escort you out." When the door closed, Andre turned to Olivia. "Now, Miss Carter, or should I say, former medical student Olivia Carter, let's discuss your future." Olivia froze. "How do you know about my background?" "Your approach to Sophia was very professional for someone who only serves tables. You were a sophomore at Monroe Medical, in the top 15% of your class, a Hightower scholar specializing in pediatrics." Hearing her past recited so objectively made Olivia's chest hurt. "Mr. Bennett, I appreciate how you handled Walter, but I'm uncomfortable with how much you investigated my life." "Fair enough," Andre nodded. "I'll be direct. I'm offering you a job, several actually." "What kind of job?" "First choice, General Manager of the Golden Star. Triple salary, full benefits, including health insurance for your mother. The amount mentioned would make all the bills disappear instantly. Second option, position with Bennett Company's Community Health Initiative. You'd use your medical training and pay even more. Why would you offer that to a stranger? Because in 15 minutes with Sophia, you've done what no specialist has managed in 18 months since the accident." His composed facade cracked. "My daughter spoke to you. She smiled. She let you help her without frustration. The accident. Was your wife involved?" Pain crossed Andre's face. "Catherine died instantly. Sophia's spinal cord was damaged. Until yesterday, she didn't speak to anyone outside the house." Andre slid out another folder. Inside was an acceptance letter from Monroe Medical School's reentry program, dated that day, along with documentation for a full scholarship. "How did you get this?" "Dr. Winters and I served together on a children's hospital board. The opportunity mentioned in your email is still available." Olivia's hands were shaking. "That's not possible. My mother needs care dash." Which brings me to the final component. Andre opened a third folder. "Fully accessible apartment available in your mother's name with home health care coverage by our corporate insurance." Tears blurred Olivia's vision. "Why would I do all this for a stranger?" Andre was silent for a moment. "After Catherine died, I concentrated on accumulating wealth as if I could fill the void." Meanwhile, Sophia retreated into silence. His eyes met Olivia's. "Last night, I saw my daughter laugh for the first time in 18 months. You gave me that gift without knowing who I was." He leaned forward. "That's not charity. The medical community lost someone exceptional when circumstances forced his departure. And selfishly, I hope that you will continue to be part of Sophia's life." Olivia stood up abruptly. "I need a moment." On her private balcony, 40 floors above Thessity, she tried to process everything. The offer was life-changing, but something nagged at her. Was it just Erich men throwing money at a problem, using her to help his daughter? What conditions could be hidden? When she returned, she found Sophia had joined her father. "Are you going to be my doctor one day?" the girl asked anxiously. Olivia looked at Andre, who raised his hands. She guessed, "Apparently, she's been researching medical schools on my tablet." Taking a deep breath, Olivia faced Andre directly. "Before I answer, I need to make something absolutely clear. The intensity in her eyes took Andre by surprise. "If I accept your help, it has to be because I deserve it for my abilities, not because you're buying Sophia a friend." The words came out harsher than he had intended, but instead of offense, Andre seemed relieved. "I wouldn't have expected anything different. The offer remains independent of any personal relationship." Olivia knelt beside Sophia's chair. "In that case, I know a medical student who would love to explain brain pathways to you." Sophia's smile was answer enough. But what no one could have predicted was that the partnership between Olivia and Andrew would face its first major test in the next 24 hours. When Walter, consumed with revenge, discovered the extent of his humiliation, he wouldn't hesitate to ouse Bennett Enterprises' dark secrets to try and destroy everything. What he didn't know was that he had chosen the wrong adversary in Olivia Carter, and that she was only just beginning to show her true strength. A year later, Olivia was walking across the campus of Monroe Medical School, her white lab coat swaying gently as she hurried to her advanced neurology class. The university's emblem glowed on her chest, a symbol she thought she'd never see again. "Dr. Leone is doing a surprise test today," warned Marina, her study partner, sliding into the seat next to her. "Have you reviewed the cases of cerebellar development until 2 in the morning?" confirmed Olivia, stifling a yawn. Her phone vibrated with a message from Eleanor. "Aquatherapy with dinners today. Feeling stronger. Dinner at your place tonight." Sophia ordered my apple pie. A spontaneous smile lit up her face. In the transformation her life had undergone since Andre Bennett's proposal. The most unexpected development was not her return to medical studies or the improvement in her mother's condition under comprehensive care. It was the unlikely family they had formed. Eleanor's affordable apartment was in the same building as Andre and Sophia's. What began as occasional meals evolved into regular Sunday dinners, movie nights, and a maternal bond between Eleanor and Sophia that filled gaps in both their lives. After the class, Dr. Winters drove Olivia to her office, where Andrew was waiting. "The pediatric rehabilitation center we discussed is becoming a reality," he announced, handing Olivia a luxurious brochure with the Bennett Foundation logo. "The Sophia Bennett Center will open in 18 months adjacent to the medical school." Olivia flipped through the glossy pages with her heart racing. The center was Andre's passion project, a state-of-the-art facility specializing in integrative care for children with neuromuscular conditions. "We want to create a specialized track for your remaining studies," explained Dr. Winters. "Additional certifications in rehabilitation medicine, administrative rotations, research opportunities, all preparing you to assume medical directorship after your residency." That's a lot," Olivia managed to say, overwhelmed by the implication. "I haven't even finished college." "The center won't be open for 18 months, Andre clarified. "We're planning for the future." "Your future, if you like." He handed Olivia a carefully folded drawing of Sophia. It showed 3 figures holding hands, Papa, Olivia, and Sophia, in front of a large building labeled Sophia's Hospital. Below, in childish handwriting, was written, "My family fixed me. Now we can fix other children, too." Tears glistened in Olivia's eyes. Sophia's progress over the last year had been remarkable. From wheelchair to walker to occasional unassisted steps, from almost complete silence to animated conversations. "I need to think about it," Olivia said honestly. "It's an incredible opportunity, but you don't want special treatment," Andre added, smiling. "Dr. Winters has agreed to mentor any qualified student who shows exceptional potential. Since you're already at the top of your class, you've earned that consideration." Walking through the sunny campus afterwards, Olivia felt lighter than she had in years. Her phone vibrated again, a group message from Sophia to her Andre and Eleanor. "Did Dad tell you about the hospital? Can we celebrate tonight, please?" Followed immediately by Eleanor. "I'll bring extra pie. So proud of you, darling." Standing in the same spot where just over a year ago, She had read Dr. Winter's email with hopeless longing. Olivia looked up at the bright windows of the medical center. She thought of the night at the Golden Star when she had helped a frustrated silent child eat macaroni and cheese. A small act of kindness that spread, transforming not only her life, but creating a legacy that would help countless children. She replied to the group, "Celebration tonight. I'll bring the ice cream. And Sophia, get ready to help me design those treatment rooms." The Golden Star now thrives under new management, its employees receiving fair wages and full benefits, a model for the group's other restaurants. Walter, on the other hand, has discovered that his reputation for theft and discrimination has made him unhireable in any respectable establishment in town. As for Olivia, she learned that sometimes dreams don't die, they just turn into something even bigger than we imagine. And that genuine compassion, even in the most difficult times, can unleash miracles that no one could have predicted. Some call it coincidence, others call it fate. But the truth is that small acts of kindness can change lives in ways we never imagined. Even when we are at our most vulnerable, our true character can open doors that we thought were closed forever. If this story has touched your heart, be sure to subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories like this one. Remember, sometimes the moment that seems to be the end of us is just the beginning of something extraordinary. And you never know when a simple gesture of compassion can change not just one life, but entire generations.